Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Carla the Alberta Girl. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to can whipping cream with glass lids. Now before anybody goes all foo-foo about how you can't do that, trust me when I tell you, you absolutely can coffee cream. Or not coffee cream, whipping cream. Do not let people tell you that you cannot can whipping cream. You absolutely can. It's exactly the same procedure that we went through when we did the milk, when we did coffee cream. It's the same thing, even with a glass lid. So let's get started. So I've had my lids boiling. We covered how do you prep the glass lids in a different video. Same thing though, it's just like normal. You're going to go ahead and take your rubber gasket, put it on a glass lid, put it into a metal screw band, and you are going to put it onto the stove to boil scalding water or rolling boiling water for 15 minutes. I've already gone ahead and filled the jars. This is 35% whipping cream. And again, I'll show you a little bit better in a minute, but this is $1.08 per liter or 946 mils, whatever. At that price, you buy it all and you start canning. So that's what I'm doing. I did a whole blast yesterday and unfortunately the camera died, but here is the result of it. This is all pint jars of whipping cream. Good thing the camera did die yesterday because when I opened the canner, 2 jars had actually exploded down in the bottom here. So there was obviously a crack or a flaw in it somewhere. And when I was washing the jars today, one of them did not seal. So out of 16 jars, 1 fail. 2 jars exploded. At this point, that's a pretty high loss for me, but because it's just 1 seal failure, I'm not too worried about it. So 13 out of 16 are ready to go downstairs. They're washed up, ready to go. Again, this is the coffee cream that we did the other day, and of course, water that I showed you how to can so that you've always got canned water on hand. So in the meantime, we're just going to start doing these. Here, we're going to start lidding these up as well. I'm going to start lidding these guys up. Okay, let's get this going here. Okay, we're just going to do it like we did yesterday. Just taking out glass lid like so. I like to set it down. It just makes it a bit easier to lid the jar. And I've wiped all of the rims as well, so they're all set, ready to go. Again, point of no resistance, 3 fingers tight. So point of no resistance in about 1/4 inch. And into the canner, cold water, because the jars are cold. No thermal shocks going on here. And the ones that exploded yesterday, they were actually on the top rack. So it's apparent that it was a fault in the jar itself. I'm guessing because they were a hand-me-down jar that these were actually damaged. That they were damaged in a fire, or just had some other sort of. They were used for candles, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so these 2 will fill up the bottom. These 2 jars are going to actually fill up the bottom layer of the canner. Ooh, that's getting a little spitty. Turn you down. Go. Go. Okay, now because we're doing a 2-layer, we're actually going to take the rack from a second one, pop it on top. And it's just gonna go just like that. Just like that. There we go. Sometimes they just don't want to go on proper. Okay, we're just going to get the last 2 jars prepped. Do a quick wipe of the rim. I'll show you how to do that. I'm sure you all know how to wipe a rim yet. Again, with milk or dairy products, you're always going to use, be using water, no vinegar. No apple cider vinegar, nothing, nope, just plain tap water. Done. And again, when it comes to glass lids, you always want to use a little more headspace than what you would be doing if it was just a regular snap lid. But since we don't have to use snap lids anymore, this is what we do. Oh, turn this off. There we go. And in we go. Okay. Okay, now that we've got all of the jars in just like this, I've got 3 quarts of water in here already. And now that we've got the water in, we've got 3 quarts of water in. When I'm double stacking, I always put the water in first. So the next step then is to just put on the lid. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Apparently I had the wrong lid. I was trying to put the wrong lid on. That's okay. I'm just going to just adjust the pot there. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to set this for 20 minutes. You can see there on medium, put it on medium heat, and we're going to let this sit for 20 minutes. So we'll see you in 20 minutes. And the reason being that we're going to do 20 is just, see 20 minutes here? The reason being 20 is it is a double load and we're going from ice cold, like refrigerator cold. So I want to make sure that we're not going to be doing any thermal shocking. See you in a bit. Alrighty, so the timer just went off. We're going to turn the heat all the way up to high and we're going to let this settle down for, well, until it starts venting, and then we'll set the timer. Sorry, everybody, my bad. Now that we're venting, we've got 10 minutes on the clock, and I actually did this whole spiel once already, just didn't realize I hadn't hit the record button. So we've got just about 6-7 minutes ready to go, and then we will drop the weight on. Okay, it's 10 minutes, camera is rolling, and we're just going to drop the pressure regulator on. You know, let's turn the lights off. Maybe that'll work better. There we go. So that's going to stay on until it starts to jiggle jaggle and go crazy. Okay, it's rocking and rolling, so we're going to give it 90 seconds. Full tilt, full temperature. We'll just let it go for that time. Okay, it's been 90 seconds, so we're going to turn that off. We're turning the heat off, and we're just going to move the canner over to the heating pad. And we're just going to let it start to come down to pressure 0 normally without any influence. Now, normally I would just start with my next round of canning. Unfortunately, so there's the jars, there's the lids, and my pot's steaming and ready to go. However, my second rack is in here, so I can't actually get my jars into the next canner. I don't like using towels in my canners for any number of different reasons. I just don't like doing it. And you know what? And I can't find my other rack, and I don't know where it is. So I've kind of just given up, and I admit defeat here. I'm going to be looking at buying a new one pretty quick, but in the meantime, we're just going to let it come down to 0 pressure. Now, how you tell again with it 0 pressure, it's going to be at least a 30-minute wait. So we're going to set the timer here for 30. And then with regards to the canner itself, you can hear right now the movement inside. That's the jars and the steam and the pressure. We know with the nipple of the safety valve, it's up, so we know it's still under pressure, and it's just off the stove. But one quick way to test is just flick the pressure regulator like this, and that little psh of air means that it's still under pressure, and you do not want to release the pressure quickly. You'll just cause siphoning, or if you're familiar with diving, with the bends, so when you're down under pressure with the water and you come up to the surface too quickly, you can get the bends. For all intents and purposes, it's the same sort of idea, but we'll talk about that in another video. Right now, we're just going to wait the half hour and see where we're at. Okay, it's been about half an hour, and we know that the pressure's down to normal because we've removed this. And another quick check you can use is just flick the little nipple here. There's no hissing. So we're just going to open this up. Slowly but surely. When you're doing it one-handed, it's a little trickier. And you know what? I am going to put this down. This isn't going to work. Okay. Oh, look, and nothing appears broken, which is fantastic. So I'm just going to give that a second to cool down. And while that's doing, I'm just going to get the next round of lids ready. In a minute. Okay, now we're going to remove. You can see all of the lids are intact. All of the cans, or the jars rather, intact. And you can actually still see them kind of bubbling a little bit. That's an excellent sign that you're going to get a great seal. So now, okay, and I'm just going to take out each jar. Give it a little wiggle to get the excess water off the top. And now we're just going to start sealing the jars again, nice and tight. And yeah, you really want to get these nice and tight. Like, I mean tight as tight can get. That's what's going to actually help them seal with a good proper vacuum. Next to no siphoning. Good job. Oh. Okay, and this one's just gonna go into the box just because I've run out of room, obviously. And there we go. So that is all of the lids nicely screwed down nice and tight. And I'm so pleased this time around, all 16 jars not only appear, well, none of them broke. That was the important thing. And that's the 16th there. They didn't break. And I had almost no siphoning. It looks just like maybe a tiny, tiny little bit. Either or, it doesn't matter. We are going to get these next round going. So we've got some ice cold water in our canner, and now we're just going to start over here. And I'm gonna do 7 quart jars of cream. One, because I gotta get some of this bulked up, but I certainly don't use enough whipping cream to justify, really this many liters. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. And then I'll do the last ones in pints, but I just like to get this done at least. And I'll tell you why I'm going to do it this way. I'll get these ones in my lower canner, my smaller canner. I'm going to get these ones done first, and as this is cooling, I can prep and get my second one done with pints. I don't know how to do this. I know what I'm gonna do. Hate Dairyland. Dairyland, if you're paying attention to this, get rid of these stupid plastic rings. They're ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, you guys. Like, really? We don't need them. Okay. How ridiculous. Ugh. Come on, Dairyland. You can do better. You ought to do better. And I always rinse the jugs, the milk's out, the cartons. I always rinse cartons. It just helps with keeping them from stinking up too much. Just give them a good rinse and then upside down to dry, and tomorrow they'll be going out or taking them back to the bottle depot to get my refund. And if you're wondering why I'm bringing them off camera, it's just I'm getting that last little bit of cream out of... Remember, I don't like food waste, and I really want to get as much out as I can. And I mean, again, when you pick it up for $1.08, a liter. How do you say no? That's right, you can't. You just cannot say no to $1.08 a liter. You just can't. Doesn't matter who you are. That is a hella good price. Ugh. That's 5. Okay. Okay. Okay, almost done. Okay, what are we gonna get out of this one? Ugh, it's so splattery. Well, we got a few minutes still. You know what? I'm just good enough. Okay, let's get that last one going, and then we're going to perfect. Okay. So the next thing, like always, we're just gonna take and get these wiped down. Okay, so that's all done. So now what we're gonna do, we've got 30 seconds, good enough. And just like before, we're gonna take one can or one jar, take a lid, we're gonna lid up. Same thing. There we go. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so we've got all of them into the canner now, and I do have the vent on because it was getting on my wall. I'm gonna have to wipe the walls down really quick, doesn't matter. Anyways, we're ready to go here. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to start the timer on the medium there. Get this out of the road really quick. Okay. Go. And there we go. So we're gonna let that go for 20 minutes and we'll be back in a bit. Okay, and just like before, the 20 minutes is up. So we've turned the heat all the way up and we're gonna wait for it to start venting. Okay. It is trying to get going, and I mean, realistically, we've got some good blowback here. So I've set the clock for 10 minutes to vent, then we'll pop the pressure regulator on. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. So on with the pressure regulator, and we're gonna let it go until we've got it rocking and rolling, then 90 seconds. And there we go. We've got it going nice and rocking, and we're gonna hit the 90 seconds. Just let it do its thing. Okay, that was 90 seconds, so we're gonna turn the heat off and then just move. We're just gonna move it over now. Alrighty. And we're just gonna let it go for 30 minutes now to cool down and come back to zero pressure. So we'll see you in a half. Okay, we know that the canner is ready to go because we've done the little flick test. The nipple is down. We know it's good to go. So we're just going to take the lid off here like so, really carefully. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, we did get a little siphoning, no big deal. Okay, we are just about done. 3 more jars. And again, the procedure that I've shown you is for the glass lids. This is really the only difference, is you do need to tighten the jars down, the lids down by the rings as you take them out. Now, if you were to do this with a snap lid, this step is the only step you're not doing. That's it. Other than that, you aren't doing anything different at all. Nothing at all is different. Oh, wow, this one's hot. Okay. And that is all there is to it, my friends. That's it. Okay. All right, so that is it. That's all there is to it. And you can see over here, we've got all of the rest of the whipping cream that we did earlier today. So this is the whipping cream in quart jars. And honestly, we're just gonna let it sit overnight, let it cool down, and we'll see you in the morning.